All right, today this camera is in a case and it's a YASHICA D. This camera is in such fine condition. I'll take the case off so I can show it to you. This camera came with a box in condition of, it would seem like nobody ever used it. You can tell it's a YASHICA D because it says YASHICA D on the front, and it's also got the D in the serial number. It's got the original lens cap, and it has the 80mm f3.5 lens on it. And again, this came with this case. This case is in perfect condition, and this strap is a little bit curly because it was curled in the case and it was never used. So this is like ready to work and ready to shoot. Is it as nice as a Rolleiflex? It is certainly not. But it's pretty close. And I have some wonderful photos I've made with this. This is a inexpensive version of a Rolleiflex, and it's, I think, as good as a YASHICA mat, which we'll talk about a YASHICA mat in another video, but I really do think it's as good. It has a good viewfinder. It's bright, and it's not like it's been replaced with a good bright screen or anything, but it's a bright viewfinder, and I can certainly work with it outdoors and indoors with pretty decent light. It has shutter speeds, same controls as a Rolleiflex, on a wheel in the front. It goes from bulb 1 second up to a 500th of a second, and apertures go to f22 to wide open at 3.5, and it's got a terminal if you want to put a studio flash into it. It's got a shutter release right here. It's got a self timer, and other than that, it's a pretty basic camera. It's like I said, I think it's as good as a Rolleiflex as far as, you know, usability and affordability. It's not nearly as refined as that. It doesn't feel quite as elegant in its craftsmanship as a Rolleiflex, but it's, I think I got this for $100, and for $100 I think that's a fair price to pay, and it's pretty difficult to get into a clean Rolleiflex for that price. And they make a couple of different lenses. This is the YASHICA lens. They also make a YASHICA lens. The YASHICA is considered a little bit of a better lens because it has better elements in the grouping that they put them in. They like the YASHICA more of the two. So if you find them, some of the YASHICA Ds come with the YASHICA, some come with the YASHICA lens. The YASHICA is considered more desirable. I find this lens is perfectly sharp for my needs, and sometimes I wonder if we get too hung up over picture sharpness as opposed to subject matter and content. And I find that this camera is completely workable, and I don't feel like I'm lacking sharpness when I use this instead of the Rolleiflex. To take this off, you pop these little clips up, and then you can kind of stretch it out, work it off of the and then pull it out of the case so we can take a look inside of it. Kind of got to work it around all these little round controls. Trying not to bust the case up. You can see how the cases would get busted up after a while when you're bending them around all these little controls trying to pull them off. Making sure I don't have anything cut. This wheel right here is the one that's like stuck right now. I'm working that one off. But I don't want to risk ripping the leather, you know. Let's see. Here we go. Now we can get the case off, we can look at it. Again, really clean condition. Beautiful leather is all intact. Like I said, it was in a box. I don't think it was ever used. It's got a cold shoe. It's got your focus on the right side like the Rolleiflex has. Doesn't feel quite as smooth as a Rolleiflex, but it certainly, again, is a capable camera. The bottom opens up. You turn it towards the symbol that says O. I don't think I have any film in there. Oh, I do have film in there. Darn it. I didn't know I had film in there. It was on film number 8. I haven't shot this camera in a while, and I thought that this film camera was empty. But it said 8, so that means I probably just wrecked the frame, and I need to shoot the rest of this to find out what's on it so I can process the other film. Well, anyway, we won't look inside of it today. See, sometimes people will assume that pros don't make mistakes, but that's not true. Everybody is always making some mistakes, and it happens to everybody. So the one thing they didn't do back then is they didn't give you a good way to check to see if there was film in the camera when the camera was closed. And I haven't used this in a while, and I really thought the camera was empty. So YASHICA D, if you get one, I'd love to hear what you think of it. Do you like it? I think it's a good, solid, reliable camera. I've heard some of the other models, the A and the C, aren't nearly as dependable, but the D is considered dependable. I would vote for this one as far as one to pick up if you aren't getting a YASHICA mat. But the YASHICA mat is almost the same camera as this camera. And we'll talk about that at another time. Thanks again for watching. I have some film to process pretty soon. I have picture number 8 it's on, it said. And I look forward to hearing your comments and answering any questions I can. Hit the subscribe button, and thanks for watching. I'm glad to bring these camera reports, reviews to you. See you next time.